Good morning, y'all. What's up? It is Sunday. So I had saw some disheartening news on YouTube from one of my YouTube content creators that I watch. I don't know if y'all hear me sometime. I talk about Walter Lee Hampton. I love Walter Lee Hampton. If y'all know nothing about Walter Lee Hampton, go over there to Walter Lee Hampton and check him out. He is originally from Cincinnati, but he was younger. His mom packed him up and they moved to Atlanta, and that's pretty much where he's been at in Atlanta. And he is very funny and he tells stories and stuff. Well, he had tragedy strike over there. I'm just finding out about this yesterday, and this happened April 10th. It was unexpected. Walter Lee has had his boyfriend that he's been with for the last 20-some years. And shoot, I've been watching Walter Lee Hampton before I even got a YouTube channel, before I even started mine. That's how long he's been on YouTube. And I've been watching him, and he's also like in the fitness. He's like a fitness coach and stuff, like in the gym and stuff, and he built up real nice or whatever. And he's been with Earl for the last 20-something years. And this happened a while ago, y'all. Him and Earl, they always traveling. They always going to places, Miami, and going out the country and this and that, and they always having a good time. Well, this had happened a while ago, y'all. They had went somewhere, and Earl had got mysteriously sick and had started having all these symptoms, and he wasn't even able to enjoy the vacation. He had got so sick, all this weird stuff, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. So when they got back, Walter had made a video. He talked about how Earl had came down with these strange symptoms. They didn't know what it was and stuff, and he had got real sick or whatever. They went to the hospital, and at the time, I don't even believe they was able to really do something for him then, because they didn't even know what the sickness was or what they was curing. But it was crazy because after that happened, that everybody started getting sick. Everybody started getting sick. What it was it was COVID. This is around time all the people was disappearing in China and the streets was empty and all over the world. It was COVID, but like I said at the time, they couldn't figure out what it was. It was like he was one of the first ones that came in there and they didn't know what was going on. But shortly after that, that's what I said, everybody started going down. Everybody started getting sick. So that's when Walter put together that it was COVID. And so I think he might have had more complications because it had set in and the symptoms had set in and they really didn't at first understand what was going on. So ever since then, it seemed like he had been in and out the hospital, in and out the hospital, in and out the hospital. And I never did too much see him in the videos. Walter don't really never post him in the videos. Now he posts his pictures and he comes back. He always tells stories, about him and Earl getting into it. Or what he said to Earl or what Earl said to him or something like that. And it'd be funny. But it's been like this for years. And I got on there last night relaxing to find out that Earl passed away, and that was kind of disheartening because when you have your favorite YouTubers, content creators, or whatever, TikTok creators, wherever they at, they become a part of your family, your social media family and in your family because you watch them all the time, and a lot of times they're telling you stories, they're helping you find out how to maneuver through different things and stuff like that, talking about what they've been through. So I always felt like Earl was a part of my family too, even though I never did really see him on the videos. But like I said, I always saw pictures that, Walter would post, or Earl that said something funny, or they didn't got into it and you can't help but laugh or something like that. So he had been in and out the hospital, and he died on the 10th, and I think Walter's birthday was the 12th or something, or I don't know how it went, but from the way Walter told it, was that he held on long enough to celebrate his birthday. He died a day after his birthday. And Walter said he was in good spirits, and they was laughing and talking, and he had him outside. I don't think he could talk. I think Walter was just saying he was signaling him stuff or whatever, but he held on, for his birthday, and then he passed the day after or whatever like that. It was disheartening because Walter is the type of person, he don't care about nobody, and he'll say what he gotta say. He say what he feel. He don't take nothing back, and he don't care about who don't like him. He don't care about much. And to get on there yesterday and see him talking about Earl, and he had tears welling up in his eyes, it kind of made me well up too, because he don't care about much. Y'all have to go over there and watch his content. You'll see what type of person he is. He could care less about anything, anybody. He's been through so many things like I have, where people that wronged him for no reason and done things that where he that type now. And to see him, in pain, it kind of made me well up too, because like I said, he don't care about much. And he said it was totally unexpected, because he had just got him home or whatever from the hospital or whatever, and he was saying something to the point where Earl didn't want to, pass away in the hospital, so he was happy the way it happened, that he was able to get him home, and he passed there in the home, but he had, healthcare providers and nurses swinging in and out of there, and I think he said the nurse had just left. Or something like that. So, oh man, Earl will be missed, because Walter always on there telling some funny stuff. Nice looking man, but like I said, COVID had got a hold to him and sunk in before anybody really could find out what was going on. So I just believe that he had longer complications and stuff, and longer turnarounds, because at first when he showed up, they didn't know what was going on. Everything was fine until they got, I think, out of country or something to go vacationing, and he got ill on the trip, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And everything that Walter was describing, it was sounding like the COVID. But like I said, that hadn't happened yet. It wasn't but after a couple of months later where everybody started falling sick and stuff, and then they was able to find out and put a name with it, that this was this COVID crap or whatever. So I'm sending my prayers out to Walter Lee Hampton today, because he is sad, and he normally ain't too sad. He's a different type of person. Y'all have a nice day.